So, Home, it's nice to have you back.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
It's a little concerning with the bandages and everything, but
I fell down the stairs.
You fell down the stairs?
Yeah, at my place.
I saw part of this.
What are you talking about?
Werner,
why Herzenhagenflog?
Why was Werner here last week? First of all, were you
I was,
that injured from your stairs?
I'm a little clumsy.
Okay,
and
you're clumsy.
I'm a little clumsy. But no, Werner and I, we were just playing last time. We're just playing.
Okay.
Good friends. We're good friends.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Because if you need to talk to someone.
No, I'm good, Jax.
Okay. All right. Well, I think Werner, I can hear him lightly snoring in the closet, so hopefully he doesn't show up today.
He's tired.
Yeah.
Today.
Well, he hibernates like a vampire, kind of.
I mean, he did say, what was it? Dracula is his favorite show. So, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, that makes
sense. He's probably upset that he didn't play Dracula.
We should probably keep it down. Just don't want to disturb. Don't want to disturb him.
The wooden stake over here.
Okay, good.
We're good. But I guess today we're going to be talking about Birds of Prey, which I would have thought Werner would have been up and ready to talk about this. I'm assuming it's his favorite film in a while.
I think he went to see it I think it was his 6th time last night.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So
yeah. Okay.
At least that's what I mean, I don't know. He's got a lot of tickets for it on the floor outside of your closet. So,
well, I mean, that's 6 times. That's a fan.
That's a fan. I mean, it just came out. Fan. Just came out. So,
but yeah, other than that, news.
Bringing you the most important and the most entertaining news that you will get all day. It's the movie news with a couple of rabble-rousers, Jackson and Home at the Movies. It's Bored and Annoyed with the news.
Yes, we have news.
What do you got?
Well, Sam Raimi. Sam Raimi may be coming to direct Doctor Strange 2 and the Multiverse of Madness.
Okay, and I like this.
What's not to like?
Yes.
What's
the last good movie he directed?
Probably Spider-Man 2.
Well, there was that one, Drag Me to Hell. That was kind of a fun movie.
That one I didn't see.
That one's a fun movie, but I feel like Sam's been out of it for a bit. He did produce Crawl.
So he did, what was it? Oz, I think was the one with James Franco.
He directed that?
Yeah.
That wasn't very good.
No, it wasn't very good. So yeah, he's on a bit of a losing streak, but I kind of look at it this way. This is actually, kind of good for Marvel, because if they had gotten Sam Raimi in his heyday, like Spider-Man 2/3 sort of time, they'd be paying way more for him than they would probably now.
There was a Spider-Man 3?
Good point.
I try to just...
Let's see if Sony fucks up Spider-Man 3 again.
Yeah. So is there anything new going on there? I heard they announced more movies are coming.
There's one that is untitled. We don't really know what it is. Rumor is it might be a Kraven the Hunter movie. Kraven is I think actually Kraven's kind of a cool character.
But they'll fuck it up.
Well, it's just I think they all have potential, but it's do they have enough value to hold a solo movie is my thought. Captain America's always had his own series.
Yeah, right.
It's Kraven. I don't. What's there for Kraven?
What? So is it official that this Morbius movie and Venom are technically attached to the MCU now? Because what's his name was in the trailer for 2 seconds. I know. I can just watch your face bubbling with frustration.
Well, I mean, it's not. I don't think it's necessarily official until Kevin Feige makes it official.
Well, that's what's so confusing is how would that even be allowed? You'd think they'd be like, no, step off.
I think that's what that in that trailer kind of was Sony kind of testing the waters, being like, no, fuck you, Marvel. And it'll be interesting.
That movie's going to suck.
It's going to suck, but it's going to be interesting to see if it blows up in their face.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange 2. This could be crazy. Maybe see a return of Toby.
That would be great.
I mean, it's a multiverse
of madness.
I mean, I think the thing that excites me about this the most, and now that Sam Raimi's really on board, is that Sam can hit the horror.
Yeah, if it's because that was the original rumor, then they kind of pulled back on that a bit. Was that it was going to be like this horror-esque, like H.P. Lovecraft deal?
But I think that Sam's really good at putting horror-esque moments in a movie that's not necessarily a horror movie.
Well, he's like the master. He made arguably the most beloved horror comedy. Evil Dead 2.
Exactly.
Ever.
And there are creepy moments in some of that shit. So yeah. And
the
I
girl
think
under the floorboards.
Yeah. And there are good moments in Spider-Man 1 and 2 that are not horror moments, but they're kind of creepy-ish moments. So that's exciting.
Yeah, I would agree. I'm excited about that.
But I don't know what to expect from this. Like you said, H.P. Lovecraft, we could have something crazy there.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Yeah.
I want something just fucking batshit.
Well, and I think that Marvel is now getting to the point. I think they did it in phase 3 where they kind of experimented. They did a Cap versus Iron Man thing. They did all these weird sort of out there things for them.
Okay.
And I think now it's just going to be even more craziness.
Good.
So I'm very hopeful.
Well, the nice thing too is that they've earned enough like goodwill from their customers that even if they fuck one up, it's just okay, course correct, go back to what we were doing.
Yeah.
It's not like gonna destroy everything.
Right. I mean, even if Black Widow is like, that's fine.
That looks great though.
It looks really good.
Yeah.
But that's one of the pieces of news. Did you see Did you see the trailer for Spiral?
No. What is Spiral?
It's the spin-off movie brought to you by Chris Rock.
Oh, the Saw movie.
The Saw
No,
Spiral.
I have not seen it. How is it? Just tell me about it. Are we taking a break so I can watch this thing?
Yeah, no, we don't need to watch it.
Okay.
We don't need to watch it.
Does it look terrible?
It's a thing. It's a thing that's happening. I have no idea. It's Sam Jackson, Chris Rock. Chris Rock is producing it. I have no idea. I mean, I like those two. Yeah.
Okay. Question.
Yeah.
What's more shocking? The fact that Fast and the Furious is still going, or the fact that Saw is still going?
That's a good question. I don't fucking know. Saw has been dying slowly.
Yes. And
so
Fast and the Furious just seems to be
just taken off.
Yeah.
It's going to go right into the stratosphere eventually.
That new trailer, by the way, it looks on. I can't wait.
Sorry, I realize this is an audio medium. People can't see me when I shake my head.
It's an audium.
It's an audium.
Yeah.
No. It's fuck. He slingshots his fucking no.
It looks
Hate
great.
It.
Can't wait.
Hate it.
Can't wait.
It looks like such garbage.
I can't wait.
It looks so bad. It's Dom's brother.
I can't. The Asian dude died like 5 movies ago. And now he's just back.
They just don't even care.
Yeah.
Where's The Rock?
Is he in it?
I thought he was in it.
I would think he has to be in it.
Yeah,
right?
I don't think he was in the trailer.
Okay.
See, this is lending more credence to that Rock v. Vin Diesel rumor.
I think he's in it. I bet there's going to be a trailer closer to release where, like the camera pans up from his feet and there's The Rock, like really cool stance, putting on sunglasses or something.
I'm just lost a little bit that this is a franchise that still exists.
But yeah, what were we talking about? Oh, Saw. Yeah, no, I haven't seen a Saw in quite some time. I didn't see Jigsaw.
Jigsaw was
was
the newest one. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
I didn't either.
I never thought the first one was like great.
I kind of love the first one.
Okay.
It's very, I don't know. I think they handled it really well. I think the problem with the sequels is that they don't have the same sort of reveal, and they don't have it's like I say about like everything. It's about like your world and revelations within your world. Nothing's going to top that first one as far as revelations.
I thought the end of the first one broke the movie for me. It completely destroyed any realism to me because spoilers.
There's a guy, like a major cultural event.
There's a guy laying in the middle of the floor the whole time, dead still. Like,
yeah.
Come on. Like, it just bothered me.
He's got cancer. He could do it.
Yeah, the superpowers that the cancer-ridden folks get. And didn't he survive like 5 more movies? Or?
Something, I don't fucking know. Don't ask me.
Fuck the ending. I liked, when I saw it, and I think that was one where I had been told that the ending was going to like blow me away. So I'm trying to figure it out. And it's one of those things where, to me, that's cheating because that guy's dead. And 2 people in a room, there's no chance in fucking hell that guy doesn't move at all for whatever. It was like a day, I feel like they were stuck in there. But anyways, I digress.
Yeah. That's,
But you're right. If you have a twist at the end of the first, you have to have twists in every movie.
Well, you have to have twists in every movie, not one. I mean, you already understand. The problem is that you do. You know what? Fuck it. I'm not going to analyze the fucking Saw movies.
Do it.
I have no desire.
Do it.
This is a diatribe I have no interest in, and I'm the one talking.
I'm sure our listeners would love to hear.
Fine. So the problem with the Saw series is that you've already established. It's like you've established all of the algorithm in the first movie. Everything is established for what a Saw movie is in that, and you can't really undo it because the second that you're like, oh, we do a little bit of less gore and we do a little bit more character beats, you've pissed off the people who are there for the gore porn.
Sure.
And if you don't have a reveal at the end, then people say, well, it wasn't as shocking as the first or whatever.
Okay.
And you fucked yourself. It was a movie that to me was never meant to have a sequel. And it's why all the sequels are shitty in comparison.
It is true. The best ending for the franchise is he wins and closes them in that fucking, or closes dude in that fucking room.
Yes. That's the end.
That's the end.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. So fuck it. Anyways, that's my thought. That's
and
my
it
thought.
only took you about 30 seconds.
It's just I'm just so, well, I realize I say it in many different forms, which is the first one sets the tone and it sets the revelations, it sets the world. So if you don't have more revelations and more crazy shit already planned out for your second and third and fourth, it's just going to feel like been there, done that.
It's true. And they do. You just have to up the shock value. I remember one of them, somebody drowns in like pig guts.
Right. Well, it reminded me, okay, going back to Sam Raimi, it reminded me of what Sam Raimi said about like Spider-Man 2, which is like, we have to go deeper into the characters because you can go bigger and more explosions and whatever. But it's when you go deeper into the characters and the character struggles, that's where you find interest in a sequel.
Sure.
So.
All right.
Yeah.
I have a bit of news.
Yes. What's that?
Rick Moranis is going to be in his first movie in 24 years.
Oh, shit.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, another sequel.
Wow.
Shrunk.
Wow.
Starring Josh Gad.
This is the movie. This is the movie. This is the movie.
I can't wait.
This is the movie.
I believe, if I remember correctly, he stepped away from acting because his wife was like dying of cancer or something back in the day. And I always liked him growing up as a kid.
How can you not?
Yeah, Little Giants, Spaceballs.
Spaceballs,
right.
yes.
Yeah. So I am 100% on board. I will be there to support the first sighting of Rick Moranis in 24 years. Or longer, because it'll come out in a year or two.
Love Rick Moranis. I can't believe it's that.
Yeah.
I can't believe that's the movie.
It's a reboot. It's a reboot. Hey, that's a classic, though.
It is. It is. But I'm like, Ghostbusters, you couldn't come back for a Ghostbusters sequel?
Yeah, but hey, wow, actually, I'm assuming they're trying to start something there, too.
I hope so.
So, well, maybe you hope so. Maybe you really don't. You haven't seen it yet. Maybe it's a disaster that's waiting to happen. It can't be as bad as the last Ghostbusters movie, right? Even though I never saw it.
There's no way. There's no way it can be worse. No. They'd have to try, though. They'd have to actively try to make a worse movie.
It's funny because I've seen the Plinkett review of that movie and I haven't seen the movie. Like, that's probably the only one I've ever watched where I had not seen the movie that they were talking or he was talking about. And God, did it make me grateful that I never saw the movie.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, and the thing is like, it was all blown out of proportion because it was just a not funny comedy.
Right.
That's all it was.
Yeah.
I mean,
that
it was.
Seem, from what I understand, they didn't understand what Ghostbusters even was. It was all like ad lib shit, right? It's not like witty writing. And,
yes.
You know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess if that's what you want to define Ghostbusters as, I mean, yes, it's a well-written, well-constructed movie. Yeah. Yes. I guess I hadn't thought about it that. I just thought about like structurally, it's like, well, yeah, they discover ghosts and then they bust the ghosts and whatever. So in that regard, they understand it. But yeah, no, it's just
but that's not what makes Ghostbusters good, right?
No. That's the framework. That's the framework. But yeah. Anyways, what do you want to discuss first? I think we're done with the news, right?
Yeah, I don't have any news.
Oscar reactions.
Oh, I thought you were going to be like Oscar Isaac, and my reaction was fuck yes. Actually, I was happy with the Oscars.
Right.
I was shocked a little bit, even though as the night went on, I started to think, okay, Parasite actually has a shot at winning Best Picture here, because I had read earlier that like everybody they were talking to outside for interviews and shit, like when they were asking like, what do you think should win? People were overwhelmingly saying Parasite.
Sure.
And then it won director, screenplay, foreign language film. And then I was like, well, how can it not win Best Picture?
Yeah.
But then I wouldn't have been surprised when 1917 won or whatever. But it won Best Picture. And I read somewhere that he's the first single person to take home 4 Oscars since Walt Disney in like 1954 or some shit.
Right.
So good for him.
Yeah, I'm so... it was a great night. I loved that Taika won. I loved that Parasite got all this love. And I think that Taika actually winning the award that he won makes sense. I think that was a well-earned one.
100%.
I think that everything that Parasite won... it was deserved.
Yes.
I think I personally, like I said to you, I personally probably would have gone with JoJo as like my... That's
your favorite.
That's my favorite of the year. But I mean, we're splitting hairs here,
it's so fucking good though.
The ones that bothered me, the only ones, and I feel like they really nailed, like obviously Joaquin wins. That's such an obvious
And we haven't
win.
seen Judy. And so we can't really make it.
But I see it and I'm like, look, I watched Scarlett Johansson in Marriage Story and I just have a really hard time grasping the idea that she could be better than what I saw from Scarlett in that.
Yeah, I can't imagine she's better than Florence Pugh in Midsommar.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Who wasn't nominated.
Yeah, and the other one that really got me was, I feel like they fucked up the female wins because, what's her name? Was supporting.
No shit. God damn it. I feel like I would have
Judi
had this.
Dench.
Laura Dern.
Laura Dern, yeah. She
played like a tough, take no prisoners.
But she was such the
ruthless woman.
But she was so one note in her performance that I'm like, I struggle to comprehend. Like, I'm sorry, I have no doubt that Florence Pugh was better. I have no doubt in my mind.
She was good. Yeah,
I have no doubt that Scarlett Johansson was better in JoJo because
Kathy Bates was better.
You said Kathy Bates knocks it out of the park every fucking time.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm sitting here and I'm like, no, I don't believe that Laura Dern should have been the best. I really, honestly don't.
I mean, if she didn't win as General Holdo,
right,
she certainly doesn't.
Well, and then the other thing, we were
texting back and forth.
We were messaging back and forth, and the other one that got me was, are you fucking kidding me with 1917 winning special effects?
So So I was like mulling this over because it bothers me too.
You know exactly what it is. It's the same thing that when First Man or whatever won last year for visual effects.
Doesn't deserve it, I don't think.
Fuck
Did that
off.
win visual
it
effects?
won visual
Oh,
effects,
God.
yeah. And I'm sorry. I'm fucking sorry, but nothing's more impressive than Thanos this year or Lion King. One of those two wins, fine.
Well, I would even say that the scene, just thinking of a scene in Ad Astra when they're on like the moon and there's that chase scene, or even the beginning scene when he's up in like the.
that was a good one.
That's fucking fantastic.
Yeah, it was really good.
But I think it's because I could have never necessarily picked out what was practical and what wasn't in 1917, but that's almost unfair because they're not creating out of this world shit.
Yes.
Because part of the reason you can pick out stuff that's not real is because you just know.
You know that there's no
not
big
real.
purple man.
Yes, right.
Yeah, so
which is unfair. Which is an unfair advantage that you're giving a movie that is taking place
in reality.
Yes.
Yeah, that's my problem. And it just seems like just another way to snub anything that's
fantasy, science fiction. Yeah.
Any genre. Any genre other than the approved genres for the Oscars.
Well, I mean, costume design, there was nothing even nominated that was kind of out of this world.
Nope.
Or
I mean,
weird.
like Werner said in the last one, he would have taken Avengers, he would have taken Alita over this.
You don't have to just agree with Werner.
But Werner's right a lot of the time.
Home.
He made me see some of the errors of my ways. In the, maybe the Marvel shill was a bit much.
You turned into a DC fan?
Nope.
I hope you tranked him for this conversation on, he is sleeping pretty heavily over there.
He's down.
But yeah, no, I agree with you. I thought costume design stunk. I don't even remember what won. Did Joker win score?
Joker won score. I could not believe the nominees this year for best score.
It just makes me mad because I know it would never be considered because it's a cheesy anime fucking movie. But the score in Alita is masterfully. You get so pumped.
Yes.
When you're watching it.
Yep.
It's unbelievably well done.
My nominees, I know 3 off the top of my head. It would be Alita, Avengers, and Togo. Those are easily, to me, the ones that stood out the most.
Yeah.
They stood out.
How many of them were nominated?
None.
Oh.
None of them were nominated.
Instead, John Williams' Star Wars medley was nominated for an Oscar?
Of course. Because Star Wars.
And John Williams.
John Williams. Yeah, I'm so...
Not to take anything away from John, but...
Did you agree with the...
by the way, hot take. The score for The Mandalorian is 100% better than any of the scores in the last 3, at least, Star Wars movies.
Okay, that is a bit of a hot take because I'm like, I really like Rey's theme.
Yeah,
Rey's
but the Mandalorian one is just...
The Mandalorian is really good. Mandalorian is really good. Because it does like 3 things with the main theme, which is nice. And then there are also these nice little side songs that are in there too.
Well, there's a whole episode where there's like no talking. It's just the score.
I love that episode.
And it's
so
fucking incredible.
I may go home and watch it after this. I haven't watched it in 4 weeks, 6 weeks. I don't fucking know.
It's good, but continue. Sorry.
But yeah, would you agree with cinematography for 1917?
I'm not gonna argue it. I don't know if that's what I was rooting for. The Lighthouse there, personally.
Well, and I'm sort of with you on the Lighthouse too. I'm like, it was more. I don't want to say more impressive, but it was more interesting.
Oh, it was like you were taken to you were watching like a silent film or something.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think for me, I probably would have, I'm not.
But 1917, I wasn't upset about it because it's very impressive.
It's very impressive, right?
Its cinematography is more impressive than its visual effects.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
I would say the best visual effect that it has is the fact that it's simulated one-shot movie.
Which is, I don't want to come off like an asshole, but it's actually Especially
what an asshole.
with the technology that they have now, that they can program cameras to do certain things. It's actually not that hard to maintain the one. It's why you're seeing it more and more.
Sure.
Is you can program a camera to just stop
So
right
it looks
here,
like one shot.
and
right.
then okay, well, we'll just continue the take here.
Yeah.
You know,
I
So
suppose that's probably true. Yeah,
So-
you got to watch One Cut of the Dead though. I am
excited.
It's a real one shot. None
Right.
of this bullshit.
Real. It's so real. I don't know why it
It's
turned.
incredible.
Why is this a Trump thing? God damn it.
But yes, the Oscars. I was happy overall. Taika winning. Is that his first Oscar? It's got to be.
It is.
Right?
It is. And I was thinking this was one of the greatest Oscars in that I was like, this has some of my favorite directors all being nominated for different shit.
And they're beating like titans.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And it was so cool to see Bong go up there and
Bong's speeches were great.
The one
I love everyone. I am going to drink heavily.
Just waiting for like the translator.
Yes.
But when he goes into Scorsese and Quentin Tarantino,
I was getting a little, not choked up, but I was like, fuck yes, this guy is my guy.
The fact that he made a Texas Chainsaw
reference.
Yes, and it makes sense that he would know that because you can tell that not like there's a reason he looks up to all these guys that have their own different styles, right? And it is his movies are like an amalgamation of everything he's ever soaked in. So he's just great. I love that guy. I hope he wins another one next year.
I want him to just. I want the Oscars to be this like every year. I want a Quentin movie. I want a Bong movie. I want a Taika movie, and I want them to fight for the winner.
Oh, I was going to say,
not
them all
really
to get up there and fight.
I just hope that they're all nominated every year because I can't believe what we got this year. And Scorsese, keep making movies. Hopefully they're better than The Irishman.
Oh, sick burn. I like The Irishman.
I can't help but in these new ads where they're like, oh, so-and-so gave me, inspiration. I'm like, fuck you, Scorsese.
Oh yeah. This is the Marvel shill coming out, folks.
It bothers me a little bit. It's fucking so funny that it's both James Cameron and Scorsese in the same ad and they both shit talk Marvel. I find it very, I find it very amusing.
Cameron's bothered me more because it was just so stupid.
His was dumb because he's like, did you go to film school? Did anybody in film school inspire you?
Well,
or was it like, oh, a teacher told me to go and do a thing and then I was amazing?
And you make like Marvel-esque kind of movies.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the commercial itself.
No, you're right. But it's like, what are you? You're planning 18 Avatar movies right now.
Right. I wish we had more originality in cinema.
At least Marvel can release their movies.
Oh, snap. That's a good point. I'm trying to think if there were any other shitty. What did you think of it's not shitty, it was a thing that happened. What did you think of Phoenix's speech?
I will no longer be drinking milk.
You text me this. Is this a serious thing?
No.
Okay. All right.
No, I thought he sounded like a lunatic.
Okay.
My take on his was like, oh man, thank God that I get to watch these people playing characters and I'm sure part of what makes him the way he is as a person is what makes him such a brilliant fucking actor. But he was insane to me.
Yeah.
Like, I liked the whole cancel culture bit. He did touch on that, but it's like you're throwing too much shit in here, man.
He did. I like that he tried to distill it down to its most basic form of anything that you're upset about tends to gravitate towards the idea of injustice and somebody in a position of power misusing that power.
Yeah, but I don't necessarily agree with I'm sorry, but as the most intelligent beings on Earth, like we are going to pillage and take animals. I mean, it's just I I hate like the Okja stuff, like the mass.
I think
food,
that's
and
I think that's kind of what he's talking about.
But
though.
I mean, he first of all, he looks unhinged to me. He looks like a madman to me. Like, I can't take him seriously. I've got to imagine that a majority of the people watching, which, by the way, apparently it had really low ratings this year, which I was upset about because
Parasite?
And actually, because Parasite. Yeah, no. And actually, outside of his deal, I didn't think it was as political. Brad Pitt started with a joke about the John Bolton thing, him not being, during the impeachment hearings or whatever. But outside of that,
it was very devoid of politics.
I mean, my favorite speech is the Olivia Colman from last year type speech, where it's just, I'm grateful to be here.
And her introduction
was great.
Talking about last year, my husband said it was the greatest night of his life. I was like, oh man, I fucking died.
I love her.
She's amazing.
Yeah, so I want more of her style.
I also loved the guy who came out and was from 1917, and he's like, I'm being told that we're running short for time. So in the spirit of that, I'm going to introduce you to somebody who's going to introduce somebody else. And I was like, good on you, man. Good on you. First Oscars, and you're already being in a smartass. I like it.
All Bong speeches were fun.
I loved all of Bong's speeches.
It was just so cool to see all of them go up there.
Yes.
When they won Best Picture. Even though part of me feels like the audience there was like kind of like, oh, this is so cute. All the South Korean people are getting on the stage. But I don't care. They were fucking loving it.
Yep.
It was great.
I was so happy for them because it's like, it's such a good movie. It's so well deserved. Bong is getting the credit he has deserved for a while.
Yes.
And yeah, I go back to it again. I can't remember a time where I'm like, I love Scorsese, even though I don't like his comments on Marvel.
Sure.
I love Tarantino. I love Bong, and I love Taika. I had like five.
You had too many people in the race, too many dogs in the race.
Yeah, too many. Like, I love them all. So it's like, I think basically I'm missing like Denis. And if Denis Villeneuve had a movie out this year and he was nominated, it would be like all my favorite directors being nominated.
Are you ready to make the bold prediction that Dune will be nominated next year for Best Picture?
Sick. I really hope it is. I think if there's a guy,
it's great.
If there's a guy who can do it, it's him.
Yeah.
I really truly believe that.
He's another one. Was like Arrival nominated for Best Picture? Because he got shafted on Prisoners in every aspect.
Arrival, was it? No, it wasn't. It wasn't. It should have been. That was one of the best movies of that year. And Blade Runner 2049. Shit, who now is this?
Deakins won for Blade Runner 2049 too.
He did. Yeah.
So
Deakins is the fucking man.
Yeah.
You said he looks like he smells his own farts, though, which is very accurate.
Yeah.
It's very accurate.
He loves the smell of his own farts. We all smell our own farts.
Oh, right.
I mean,
that's right. Right.
Unless you plug your nose every time you fart.
I try not to, because when I do, man. Oh.
But no, he got up from the chair just.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes. Taco Bell.
I knew it was a good idea to have that cheesy gordita crunch before the Oscars.
It's a good idea to think outside the bun. But I don't know if we have any more to say about it, really.
No, I enjoyed it because I was rooting for people and they were winning.
Yeah.
I even nailed sound editing, by the way. I would like to give myself a little pat on the back there.
You did. And you and I, well, you picked the best editing. And I agreed that was, of the nominees, the best editing. So I was very happy with a lot of the winners.
Yeah.
It was basically just costume design, special effects, and probably set design, because a lot of that was, I don't even remember what set design won, but I was not.
Is there a set design award?
There is, yeah. Or production design, yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyways.
Shows we're just not snobby enough to know all the categories.
I was just glad that editing got a little bit of time.
Yeah.
That's a thing. But anyways, we're going on to what? Birds of Prey next?
Birds of Prey. This is Werner's favorite movie of the year. It's probably solidified at least until Wonder Woman 1984 comes out. I enjoyed Birds of Prey.
Sure.
I go to YouTube. You can see my instant reaction when I got home from the movie, and subscribe and hit the bell, please. But it's a B- is what I'm going to settle on. It's thin character-wise. Even though the characters were likable, there just wasn't any meat on their bones outside of Harley, I would say. Even the villain, who I really liked, Ewan McGregor, I liked his performance. Thank God for his performance, because there's not much there, but he was a fun villain. He had mean, horrible, awful shit to say. The deliveries were funny. I enjoyed it.
Now for something we think you'll really enjoy. No, I didn't like this movie. I didn't hate it, but I didn't find the writing to be witty or very entertaining. I found the characters to be pretty two-dimensional, like you said.
Yeah, they are.
I didn't find the action to be very great. I thought that there were points in which, if you think about some of the plot aspects or some of the action beats, they don't make a whole lot of sense. And I just didn't think it was very funny or all that entertaining. I wanted to leave.
Okay. I did not feel that way.
I didn't think it was very. I think that it slightly got a little bit better near the end, but also there were moments me and the person I went with, we legitimately laughed at certain moments in the third act because they were so dumb.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't think. Look, Ewan McGregor is probably the best thing in the movie outside of Margot Robbie.
She's great.
But she's just this role. She just not since I mean, I don't know if there's maybe been a better casting for a comic book character. Maybe not since like Robert Downey Jr. No, but he even fucking brought something new to Tony that was different than Tony in the comics.
She's just nailing the character.
She might just be the best casting ever for any comic book character. Now, I don't like
Christopher Reeves, Superman.
Christopher Reeves is maybe one of the best. Yeah. But I don't like the direction that they take her character. They kind of have done the thing that I've liked the least that they did with Harley, which they kind of like slutted her up. And
I totally disagree. In this movie.
Okay. I guess I should clarify. I don't like her costume design in this.
Okay. I liked it.
I've always liked the traditional Harley Quinn outfit. Okay. I've always liked she's zany and crazy, but she has like a lot of rage, and she's not as crazy as the Joker in that the Joker will do things that she'll be like, well, that's fucked up.
Sure.
Because she has a level of sanity and she has a level of planning that is a little bit more in line with a normal person. In this, I'm like, she just seems like somebody who's just very lucky a lot of the time. And I'm like, at some point when it's all luck based, I don't find that to be a likable trait in a character.
Things are kind of just happening.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of planning going on.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't argue with you there. I do think that there was a notable de-slutification of her character in this.
I would
as
agree.
Far as the outfit, the look of the character is concerned.
I still hate the costume design, but I would agree
now
with that.
Now, they didn't go to the animated series look of Harley.
Right. And I just don't, but that comes down to, I just don't like the aesthetic of these movies.
That's where I think I disagree with you, because I thought this looked really fun. I liked the colors. I liked the fact that it kind of switched things. So it's like, oh, just because it's colorful and super violent doesn't mean that it can't actually be fun. Like, that was where I felt good about it, because Suicide Squad tried to do that where it was dark, violent, and fun, but it didn't get the violent because it was PG-13. So they were killing like these alien swamp creature things.
Right.
It didn't get, I mean, she was fun, I guess.
She was the best part of Suicide Squad, easily.
But it's such a mess. And this movie, you could say, was a mess too, but it almost seemed like controlled chaos where you're supposed to be in her headspace. Like there's one part in this where she comes into like a police station and starts like, and it's weird. Well, no. And I thought I did at first, like when it's happening, I was like, this is just confusing. And then they're like, oh, let's go back 30 minutes. And I'm like, okay, this movie's just all over the place, but it didn't by the end of the movie, I didn't feel like it was a mess. I felt like it was a frenetic, kind of fast-paced, weirdly put together movie, but strategically so.
I know exactly why they're doing it because, like you said, you're supposed to be in her head. There is this, voiceover. She does narration for the whole movie. I totally get why. It's not an enjoyable structure to the film. And her narration, it's kind of like, it reminds me of what you said about the Ad Astra stuff. It's so wildly unnecessary. If you had just told a good story, you didn't need her to jump in every 30 minutes or 30 minutes, every 5 minutes. And and the problem is like, she's not Deadpool. She doesn't have cool little one-liners. The writing on this is just so very stock. I thought
it was fun.
I can't. To me, it felt like a first draft. I didn't feel like anything was particularly witty. And look, this movie has, and I'm not going to say it's the thing that like bothers me because it's not. I don't particularly like the take on the characters in this movie. I know them from the comics. I'm not in love with these characters by any means.
Okay.
But they felt very two-dimensional. And look, there's the girl power angle, which this movie is going for. It doesn't bother me. I've said it a million times on the podcast.
It wears it on its sleeve too. It's not like Dark Fate or something where it's like, oh,
but it's very over the top because every single main character has a man who's been sort of the downright driving force of the negativity in their life. And I'm fine with the idea that men can ruin things for women, but it literally just seemed like a movie designed to shit on men at the expense of, empower women at the expense of men. I mean, literally, and I get like most thugs in movies are men, but I felt like they're like, Ewan McGregor at the end of the movie with his army of thugs, he's like, men, I've kept you out of jail. And I'm like, you really hit that men really hard. And I feel like that's intentional.
Oh, I'm sure.
And every person in this who's like a real shitbag is a man.
Yeah, but it didn't bother me. And that's what it doesn't bother me. But thematically, that was the whole point.
It doesn't bother me. It's just very thin. Like it's like, what are you saying? And what you're saying is, go on, girl, do you, and fuck that dude, And it's like, I get it, but it feels like, said it fucking a week ago. It feels like a movie, or Werner said it a week ago. It feels like a movie. Sorry, we're really of two minds on a few things, but it feels like a movie that was written by a teenage girl.
Oh, I enjoyed this. So you're going on the thematic thing of women, men are the assholes. Very true. I think what elevated it for me was the other thematic element of this, how that ties to the idea of Harley Quinn helming her own movie. Because my concern was, not knowing much about the character, was that the character I met in Suicide Squad, I wasn't sure could be the focus of an entire movie. And the movie was kind of about her saying, no, I don't need Joker.
Right.
I don't need these men.
And I definitely like that. I like that for her. And I liked it when they originally did it in the comics. So for me, I get why you're saying what you're saying, because you haven't experienced what I've experienced through the comics. I already knew this was a thing. I already knew you could sell this as a movie.
Right.
She's the poster child for getting out of an abusive relationship.
Okay.
So, and honestly, we could have used a little bit more abuse, seeing her get abused, and have that be like really the main thing. Like, you kind of get it at the beginning, but they do it with like this cartoonish intro where it's literally a cartoon.
Yeah, they don't have Jared Leto,
right?
So they can't.
Right, and I almost am like, what would be great is if like Jared Leto had come in for like 2 scenes or a montage or whatever.
And died.
And well, that would have been great. That would have been great. But I mean, come in and, we can all just hate Jared Leto's Joker. He's the asshole Joker that mistreated Harley. That's what he can be.
I mean, that's kind of what he is, right?
He is, but he wasn't. Like, I think he shoved. I think he like shoved her in Suicide Squad or something. Like, I'm sorry, but Joker has beat up Harley in the comics. It's not been great. So for me, I always knew she could helm a movie. I always knew it, and I always knew that.
Yeah, but it sounds like you don't think that she helmed this movie very well.
I don't. The thing is, like, this is not what I would have ever wanted out of a Harley movie. I love that they put in the hyena, because that's one of my favorite things. I just love the idea of like this little acrobatic, psychotic woman with like this fucking dog that, is wild. It's just crazy. But I wish I had liked it more.
What's your grade on this?
I'm going to go, I hover around a D+, C-.
Okay.
It's not horrendous. It's not a mess like Suicide Squad. It didn't give me a headache. Now, it might have just been because I was with somebody who was enjoying how bad it was with me.
I don't get how it's quote unquote bad. I just don't. Like, I don't think it shoots for the moon and like, wins or anything, but I don't think it's.
I just thought that I don't know why. None of it was funny to me. And to me, the pacing of like the humor felt really off. Like, a lot of it was like, yeah, I see this coming. I see, like, you just see all the jokes coming a mile away. Like when she takes the van.
There's a joke every like 3 seconds though. So.
Right. But I mean, it's just, it kind of reminded me of Guardians 2, where Guardians 2, I could feel when a joke was going to come, and I kind of knew what the joke was going to be.
Guardians 2 is way better than this.
Yeah, it's way, way better. Way better. I'm just saying, in that movie, I feel like in the first Guardians, there's a little bit of unpredictability with some of the humor. In Guardians 2, less so, because you sort of understand James Gunn's sort of pacing at that point, especially with those characters. Here, I was just kind of like, I get it. And I get it, and I get it, and I get it, and I get it for the whole goddamn movie. And I'm sorry, but having like, the cop, I forget her name, Montoya, I think is her name.
Oh my God.
And the whole like.
She was probably my least favorite.
She was
part
the
of the
worst
movie.
character in it. I hated her. I kind of like Cassandra Cain, I think.
Rosie Perez as the cop from Rosie Perez from White Men Can't Jump.
Right, yeah.
There was a scene in it after you've seen, and I guess mild spoilers for anyone who gives a shit, but there was a scene in the movie where right after Harley fought like these giant biker dudes like in a police station and beat all their asses, she gets in like a one-on-one duke 'em out with Rosie Perez, and it's like they're almost evenly matched.
Makes zero sense.
And I was like, this doesn't make sense.
It's that because she's another woman.
Right. That actually bothered me.
Well,
points against the movie there.
Right. Well, and points against the movie in that, it's one of those things where like, oh, there's no reason why the Black Mask would hire all of these thugs and not give them guns. They go outside and that's when Harley gets shot? Really? They went into a fucking funhouse. Why did nobody bring a gun? This isn't like the Avengers where they're all bulletproof.
There was some fun action in there, though.
There was some nice. Some of the choreography was kind of fun. Most of the stuff that I liked in the movie revolved around Huntress, because I like the whole take the stoic character and kind of make fun of them for being stoic.
Okay,
but. And I did enjoy Ewan McGregor for the most part. There is a scene. Did you give your grade?
B-.
Okay, so we can do spoilers then.
What did you grade it? I don't remember you saying.
D plus B minus or C minus. D plus C minus.
I was going to say that's a range.
Okay, fine.
I'm assuming Werner gave it a no. D plus B minus is a range. D plus C minus, I'll let slide.
All right, you'll let that slide. All right.
But Werner probably gave it an A or an A plus.
I would assume.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's a big fan.
Yeah. You should have heard him in the theater. But I just, there was a scene about 2/3 into the movie, and up to that point, you've really kind of been enjoying the eccentricities of Ewan McGregor's Black Mask.
Yes.
And then he does something where he makes a woman strip in his bar because he thought that she was laughing at him. And really, to me, it felt like the scene where like, oh, we have to hate him. We have to make him, because he has to be the stand-in for the misogynist asshole.
Sure.
So we sort of need to fabricate this scene. And it felt out of character for the character that had been established up to that point in the movie.
I don't know. I mean, he's cutting people's faces off.
That's psychotic. That's not necessarily sexist. And yeah, you could say like, oh,
That's true. They could have set up better that he like part of him running this club should have been established right from the beginning that he treats these women like shit, whatever.
Yeah.
Whereas all they really established was that he was a lunatic.
Yes. Yeah,
I would agree with that.
Yeah, and then the other thing that comes out of nowhere that I literally laughed in the theater was when Black Canary's power comes out and she screams.
That made no sense to me, because why didn't she do that at all
because she doesn't want to be like her mom. But also, I'm sorry, I know that that's her power from the comics, but in the context of the movie, it comes literally out of nowhere.
Well, no, because they do have her break a glass earlier in the movie.
Oh, I forgot about that. Sorry.
So there is a nugget there.
There were.
I mean, it's something.
It's the
something.
smallest of nuggets, but yes.
I mean, right away, because I know the character from Arrow, I was like, oh, that's what they're setting up.
Right. But to me, I'm like, that's weak. That's weak. And I just...
Yeah, what bothered me about that was different. What bothered me about that was, wait a minute.
Why didn't you use this before? You were literally
in quite useful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate that Harley has a gun for the entirety of the third act and only uses it at a time when she can't see the villain.
She's only got one bullet, right?
She's only got one bullet also.
Well, and she thinks, she thinks she sees him.
I'm also...
but then he calls her a moron, which is probably my favorite thing in the whole movie.
Then the other thing that I hate, and I'm just so tired of this, a lot of the stuff that I hate, there's a lot of stuff I dislike in this movie. Really, it all rides with Margot Robbie and Ewan McGregor as far as positives go.
Okay.
But I hate... in movies when we do this whole like sound over here, echo, echo, echo. Nobody can do that with their voice. That's not a real fucking thing. Somebody talks, you fucking know where they are.
People can throw their voices out.
Yeah, okay. Establish that he can do that then.
Black Mask can do it.
Nope.
Black Mask can do it. They also love mirror rooms. When you're setting up an action scene,
fucking
you
hate
need a funhouse mirror room.
Also, just...
You know what would have been great? Is if, like, all of a sudden someone went downstairs and it was Us. It was like the Us world.
Right. That would have been great. Movie's the whole grade better.
And there's, like, the really nice, well put together Harley Quinn.
Right. I disliked, so Huntress is chasing Black Mask, who has the girl with the diamond in her ass. And
who can't take a shit. I thought that was funny. I got a laugh out of that.
I was really hoping that she was going to shit on Black Mask in the last scene, and he was going to be distracted and then blah, blah, blah.
That would have been funny.
It would have been, I think, slightly better than what actually happened. But anyways, I kind of hate that the Huntress is chasing Black Mask's car. She has a motorcycle, and then Harley's like, slingshot me. And it's like, wait, you're the one with the engine. Why are you sacrificing the engine? Oh, because Harley's the main character.
It was fine.
It makes zero.
It makes perfect sense. She's a roller girl.
Makes zero fucking sense. It
didn't bother me.
Hot fucking steaming garbage.
No, that doesn't bother me.
That's
not a big deal.
Oh, what's up, Tyrion?
That's That's
Sorry,
just
Jackson's cat came out.
That's a nitpick. Oh no, Peter Dinklage is in the room.
Oh yeah. No, I don't think that that's a nitpick. I think that it's you have established. Okay, I guess you've just established a world where it's completely different than Suicide Squad, because in Suicide Squad there was a sort of a semi level of realism to the action. You couldn't knock somebody out with a cell phone that you kicked at their head.
Yeah, but it's so boring.
Yeah. That
It's
movie,
so boring.
that movie
though.
sucks.
The
but
action stinks in Suicide Squad.
Right. I thought the action stunk in this.
I liked a lot of the action in this.
It's
I liked all the really
stupid.
violent shit.
It's stupid and
I liked
unbelievable.
what she could do, like when she hits the baseball bat and it bounces off the ground and she catches it in midair, and you're like, "Yeah, you tell 'em, girl power." I like that stuff.
I just did not like the action in
It
this.
felt like a funhouse action movie. Like it felt like a Looney Tunes fight scenes were going on.
I feel like if they had gone, okay, look, I like that kind of stuff. I like Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Yeah, but that's different. That's
Exactly.
That's not
they're
trying
going,
to go.
They're going cartoony. This is like cartoony in the action cartoony way.
Yeah, I liked it.
like we're halfway there. We're
Fun.
a half cartoon.
Fun stuff.
No, just go all the way so that I can be like, okay, they're not trying to be realistic.
I thought it was fine.
But I
thought it was fine. My problems with the movie are the plot is kind of weak, even though I kind of enjoy the fact.
Why is it a
MacGuffin?
Why is it a MacGuffin movie?
I like the fact that it's not like the world is ending, because that would have been stupid.
But it's still a MacGuffin.
Right, but it's still
people
a diamond.
chasing a thing.
That's true. But I like that it's small, but I think the characters are where the movie really gets fucked. And it's not because I hated any of them. They were all fine. They're just not developed at all.
They're just caricatures.
Right.
I mean, they literally point out how Montoya is, a cliche of a cop in every cop movie. And it's like, they call it.
Yeah, but that was funny, though. I liked that.
I hate that. Because to me, it's lazy writing. They call it in writing. They call it hanging a lampshade on it, I believe is what they call it. So you did some shitty writing. So you acknowledge that you did some shitty writing. You have a character in the script acknowledge that this is kind of shitty writing.
I don't know though, because the lines that she said didn't to me move the plot along. I felt like it was just there for the gag of the. Oh, we've got the 90s cop movie.
It was just boring to me. It was great.
No, it wasn't great. It was okay.
It was just
okay.
Like I said, I didn't hate it. But
sounds like you did.
I wanted to leave because I was bored. I was just bored.
Just bored, not annoyed, or bored and annoyed.
I have a feeling that if I was not with somebody who had made it an enjoyable experience, this could have been a movie that gave me a headache.
I don't get it. I don't get how it's that bad. I mean,
it's just
everyone in the theater was laughing. It wasn't like
nobody. That's the other thing too.
Dud.
I went to Discount Tuesday.
Oh,
nobody in my theater was laughing.
Well, that's because it's the good people of Discount Tuesday.
They
not,
found Gemini Man hilarious.
Well, no,
what does that say?
Whatever the people of Discount Tuesday do,
it's the opposite.
Yes.
I disagree on this one. It was just really boring. All right. What it is, you know this about me. When a movie sort of rides into that, it's exactly what happened last week. When a movie rides into that sort of so mediocre, so cookie cutter.
Did you see Gretel and Hansel?
I did see Gretel and Hansel.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I got out of the hospital after my self-inflicted accident.
Yes, self-inflicted, right.
Self-inflicted, yes. And I I went and saw it, and that movie is so offensively boring because it's so middle of the road nothingness. And that's, to me, exactly what this is. It's got a couple sprinkle, and it's a better movie than
it's way
Gretel and
better.
Hansel.
Yes, please.
But it's so middle of the road. To me, it just feels like people didn't try. It just feels like it lacked
I think they
effort.
put a lot of work into this.
Maybe set design. I'm sure. Look, I'm talking about script writing. I'm talking about the
Even
people
that,
who wrote.
like it's a fun little script.
I don't think it's a fun little script.
It's a fun little script.
Anybody on their first pass, if they have a cursory knowledge of fucking DC Comics, could write this movie because the jokes
script.
are so basic.
Fun little jokes. I
think if I was 13, I would have loved this movie.
That's very offensive to me.
Although
I didn't love it.
No,
I
you
just
didn't.
thought it was pretty good. Are we done talking about this?
We're done talking about it.
No more DC until Wonder Woman, huh?
Thank God.
Which looks to me worse than this, by the way, because I don't think it looks good at all. But did you watch anything this week? We already talked about the Oscars.
I did. I watched one thing this week, which was I didn't have Parasite, and then I bought it on Blu-ray.
Okay.
So I watched Snowpiercer, and that thing's a goddamn masterpiece.
It's pretty good. I don't think it's a masterpiece.
It's so fucking good.
It's so on the nose.
I love it. That's what I love about it, is because Bong knows how to nail things that are on the nose. He fucking nails it. I mean, yeah, it's a giant fucking metaphor for politics and society.
Every section of the train is like, the education system, and but it's good. It's good. Don't get me wrong.
It's very good. Set design is amazing. Acting, I mean, it's fucking Tilda Swinton.
It's a really fun movie,
It's
too.
super fun.
Yes.
The action is, God, I love the fucking axe scene.
I got a question. Is the Asian dude in that
I don't believe so.
from Parasite?
I don't believe so. I'm not 100% sure, but I don't believe so.
I hope he is.
I thought he was. And then I watched it after watching Parasite not too long ago.
Because he's like, in that movie, isn't there an Asian dude who's like silent? Or like
he's not silent. He's the one who's addicted to like the radioactive waste from the engine.
Okay.
Well, addicted, quote unquote. Yeah, I'm like 90% sure it's not
he
the same.
is in it. I don't know who he plays, but he is in it, and he plays Namgung Min.
That might be him then.
It's gotta be, right?
Well, let me see his fucking pictures. This is great podcasting, by the way.
Yeah, hold on. Here we go.
All right. Yep, that's him.
All right. So he was also in The Host. So
okay.
This is Bong's
guy.
And
he's great. He's fucking great.
Even though he stinks, he really has a weird odor.
Yes, he has. He's a very strange odor. It smells like the poor.
Yes.
I think this is, I thought about it. I think this is Chris Evans' best performance.
Really?
Yeah. His monologue at the end is fucking great. Now,
okay.
yeah,
I got to rewatch this, I think.
Yeah, it's on the nose. No argument. But I kind of love the idea. There's one of my favorite things about it, which I hadn't even thought of until this viewing, which is, I think, my third or fourth viewing of Snowpiercer. But there's this great metaphor of, so there's the train and it's literally like moving up in society, blah, 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 segregation,
sure.
whatever. Yep. There's that, but then there's literally the momentum of Chris Evans' character, moving forward. And there are times in which the movie is asking him to make a choice. He has to look back at the kid that he kind of like helped raise. And the kid's like, the kid's being held hostage. Do I go for this, or do I go and take out Tilda Swinton and I get her as a hostage? He has to do what he thinks is moving forward. Keeps doing it. Different points in the movie, constantly being asked to move forward, even though everything that drives him is literally from the back of the train.
Yeah.
So even in the character's decisions and movements, there's actual metaphors. And then literally he gets to the fucking top. And
that's when Ed Harris talks for 27 minutes.
Yeah. And that's where and once again, it's the choice of look forward, reject the past.
Okay.
It's the whole, it's so fucking good.
It is good. I've now seen 5 of his movies, and it's probably in like, this doesn't even say anything negative about Snowpiercer though. He's so fucking good that I would probably put it in third, maybe. but it's so fucking good.
Yeah. Oh, I mean,
and your first and second might be different than
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, I think Snowpiercer might be my favorite, but it's because I'm a sucker for heavy metaphor.
And you want to bang Captain America.
No, the big thing is that I love fucking action, and there's
a lot of good action.
I love the axe scene,
and I love horror. So Parasite for me is
I don't even think Parasite's a horror movie. It's fucking everything.
It's not a comedy.
Everything.
Right,
it's
exactly.
Fucking everything.
But it has that tinge of like.
That's why it's number 2.
Like you bite your knuckles. Like,
right, yeah.
Oh my God, it's stressful.
It's why it's number 2 for me, and it's why Okja is number 3 is because Okja is just so fucking.
You got to see the host.
I do.
We got to do an
host.
episode on the host.
Yep. I have lots of gotta watches.
Yeah. Too many gotta watches. You son of a bitch.
I know.
We all have them though.
Yeah.
I watched National Treasure. If you want to hear my thoughts on it, YouTube this weekend, go subscribe. I will just quickly say, ugh. That's what I'll say about that. Yeah.
We have to steal the Declaration of Independence.
Bro, dude. Oh, wait. No, that's Keanu.
Yeah, that's Keanu.
They both kind of have the same reputation. Although I am really pumped to see this H.P. Lovecraft Nicolas Cage movie that's coming out to Blu-ray or whatever this month.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't think I've been watching Curb. Fucking hilarious. We don't need to get into details, but Leon's still great. Larry's still great.
Right. Yep.
Susie's still an asshole. It's wonderful. And they did this thing where there's an episode where basically one of the ongoing themes or stories in this is Larry gets accused of sexual harassment. And the people keep mistaking Jeff as Harvey Weinstein. Because Jeff's got kind of a little bit of a beard.
No.
It's really fucking funny.
Oh, that's good. I love that show. I didn't even have to see that bit.
And this, well, you can look at him and be like,
all right, I get it.
Yeah. And then this year on HBO also, there is and I might have brought it up on previous episodes, but the Outsider. It's based on a Stephen King book I've never read.
Right. Yeah.
Produced by Jason Bateman.
Okay.
He's in the show.
Okay.
It's starring bad guy from Rogue One. What's his fucking name? Mendelsohn.
Ben Mendelsohn?
Ben Mendelsohn, yeah.
Oh, right. Oh,
he's great.
I thought Solo when you said Rogue One. I don't know why.
Nope. Mendelsohn, and then Cynthia Erivo plays Holly Gibney, who is also a character in Mr. Mercedes. So this is like
Erivo. Ooh.
And she's fucking amazing.
She's really good.
She's really good. Chilling. It's creepy. It's like a detective deal where basically the premise is Jason Bateman gets accused of murdering and raping this little boy.
Ooh.
But there's evidence and there's like a mountain of evidence against him, right?
Sure.
But then there's also evidence that he was like 3 states away. There's footage, there's fingerprints, there's everything. So basically the idea is there's 2 of him.
Oh, okay.
So
I was going to say, are they playing up the idea that you as the audience don't know if he really did it or not?
You lean towards he didn't.
Okay.
And quickly, like, you start to discover there's some other malevolent force that's involved here. It's very Stephen King-ish. It's great.
So is it okay? So we're getting in the idea of like doppelgangers. Is it like a doppelganger movie? Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, it's great.
I've always loved it. I mean, that's why like Us is so fun. You know, like the doppelganger. But I mean, Us sort of misses out on the opportunity of like the scariest thing about a doppelganger is not just that they look like you, but it's like that they could pass for you and that they get away with things.
Correct.
That's the scary thing.
Yeah, well, and Ben Mendelsohn plays like this tortured detective who's had shitty things happen in his life. He's the main character.
Right.
And when he's cast well, like now that I'm not seeing him as only like the mustache twirling villain rich guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Sheriff of Nottingham, Rogue One, Ready Player One.
Right, yeah.
He's great. He's a really good actor. I like him.
Place Beyond the Pines, man. He's great in that. He's great.
I think he's really good.
I really, the boring ass movie from the directors of Captain Marvel.
Oh, you told me about this. That's right.
He's great in it.
Yeah.
He's absolutely great. The movie itself fails him, but he is a great performer.
Well, and it's interesting too because I've read Mr. Mercedes, so I'm watching this show, and Cynthia Erivo's playing a character who's also in that show, but it's not like it's not supposed to be the same portrayal of the character,
Sure.
right? And this one is like she's like one of those people who like looks at a building and knows how tall it is. She's like super socially awkward.
Oh, okay.
And
Wow,
she's great.
That's sort of a little out of her wheelhouse a little bit, isn't it?
She fucking nails it. I mean, she's got to be nominated for like an Emmy or something. But yeah, I think the show's awesome. I think the reviews have been pretty weak, but it's one of those where I'm like, do you guys just not get it? I mean, you give shitty shows 98% all the time.
Right. Yeah,
And
look
what
at the Marvel shows.
Yeah. So I think it's awesome. I would highly recommend it. It has a dark feel to it in
good.
the cinematography. And
Love
like
it.
it's
Where is
you
Dark?
feel gross.
Where's Dark 3?
Yeah, I don't know, but
want
you know what I mean though?
Yeah,
like you
yeah.
feel like you have some grime on you. I like it.
Yeah, let's sign me up.
And yeah, the doppelganger thing. It is fun. It's just a fun
It's one of my
concept.
favorite. You got me excited because I love doppelganger stories, but I don't like them when like they go crazy into the multiverse sort of idea of like
No.
there's like thousands of you. I like the idea that it's a contained like just you and this one. It's just two. And then it's like, where did they come from? What's the origin? What's the purpose? Why are they here?
Oh God, you would love this show.
So many cool questions that you can ask.
What's funny is I can't get into it, but it's as the nerd crew on Red Letter Media would say, it's very cool. The shit
Very
they do
cool.
with that
Yeah.
idea, like and slowly learning more about what this thing is or might be and what it's been doing for how long it's been doing it and
Right.
you know all that shit. It's very cool.
Oh man.
But yeah, that's really all I got this week. I started The Messiah, but I've only watched one episode.
Oh, I did start Dracula.
Oh,
I did. I watched the first episode.
Okay.
That was what a thing that was.
I think the first episode is fucking great.
It's really good.
I loved it.
It's
yeah.
really good. It really sucked me in. And then after the first episode, I was like,
Taking
I
a break.
need a break because that was like a movie.
It is a movie. Each episode is a movie, and I've watched all three. I don't think we've talked about it on the show, so this is perfect. So
Sure.
I'm just gonna not talk about the second
Sure.
and third, and we can kind of watch your reaction as it goes.
Right.
I will say, and I think you've probably heard this either from me or anybody else who watched it, there seems to be a resounding thought that it takes a huge dive in quality as the 3 episodes go.
Oh no.
But I think it's just that people don't appreciate weird because you just watch that first episode and as you watch the other 2, you're going to be like, okay, this is not what I expected.
That would be interesting.
Which I like, if you're going to do it, fuck it. Because
I
take a risk.
I started the second episode and I got about 5 minutes in and I said, I can't do this.
Not right now, right?
I can't. I just watched an
I
hour and a
really
half
like
of this.
this. He's great, by the way.
As Dracula,
Yes.
he is really good. super tragic with what happens to the main character in that first episode, or main character. I don't even know if you would call him the main character.
Jonathan
Maybe.
Harker. He's the classic guy who they do a lot of twists on the old Dracula formula.
Yep.
He's Keanu Reeves.
Yes, he's Keanu Reeves.
But that whole idea, the way they set that up in that first episode where he's being like interrogated by the
nuns.
nun.
Yeah.
And the fact that the nun is someone from but it's a twist on it and it's good. And
so I didn't know how the show would go, because I like halfway through, 2/3 of the way through, I was like, this episode is still going?
Yeah.
And then I was like, and then it ends. And I'm like, wow, that was like a fucking movie. And then I started the second one. I was like, oh, I get the structure of what this is, because they established 3 characters of interest in the first episode.
Yep.
And you're going to follow each character on one, or they're going to be sort of the guiding force for the narrative. So, interested for that. Sad thing is that I have a feeling like putting Dracula as the second in that line might have maybe been a bad call narratively, because he's the linchpin. He's the most interesting thing.
The performance is so great. Too.
Sure.
It's such you're putting a twist on Dracula while also having a character play him in like a classical vampire way.
Yeah.
Which
I love the scene.
I love it.
When he shows up at the nunnery, it's my favorite scene.
And they won't let him in, or they won't invite him in.
A great fucking scene.
Yeah, and he's very dastardly evil and charming. It's like whoa, that's what vampires are supposed to be. I remember now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
It was good. It was good. It was good.
I can't wait to see.
There
what you
is
think.
no baby.
I can't.
There is no baby.
I'm kind of hoping to watch as you go off the rails as you go through this.
Sure.
I did not, but I can get how people do, and I don't think they're necessarily wrong.
Sure.
But yeah,
it's very open-minded of you.
Yeah. I mean, usually I just think I'm right and you're incorrect, and objectively you're an idiot.
Look, there's one objective truth, and it's my truth, and everybody else needs to get on board.
Yes, exactly. But I'm
saying that for me.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see after you finish Dracula. Then we'll decide.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I've got nothing else to talk about of use. Like I said, National Treasure. Ugh. Feel free to tune in on Saturday night. This weekend we'll be on the Downright Nerdy YouTube channel as well as our Facebook channel. So yeah, enjoy that.
And thanks for listening, guys.
Sonic the Hedgehog next week.
Yeah, sign me up.
We've been looking forward to this.
Sign me up. But yeah, I just want to say that it was great to have Werner on the show. And, he's just, he's one of my favorite people.
Home.
He's one of my favorite people.
Favorite
people.
We need to have
favorite people.